Yeah.
What's up, man?
I like the look. Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was karma.
Do
Hold
we
on
be-
one sec.
Do we believe in karma?
No.
Kinda we do, though, right?
Yeah.
I hate to get right into it because it says, whatever a man reapeth or sows, that he also shall reap.
I like reapeth.
Reapeth?
Is that
Whatever
like?
he soweth, so also he reapeth.
Is that King James?
Daffy Duck, I think. He reapeth. He reapeth what he soweth. And what's mine is mine.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's kind of karma there, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Yeah.
It's just a different word. We don't believe in karma like dharma and that kind of stuff.
Dharma and Greg.
Sure. What was that, TV show?
Yeah, an old TV show. Jack liked that TV show, if I remember.
I didn't really watch it.
We're old, though.
She hates that show. Then.
Yeah. So what's going on, man?
Well, I know you're quickly becoming a super fan of baseball.
Yeah, I'm on track to be.
Yes. So, college baseball is getting ready to go into the super regionals this week.
Right, go Cards.
Yes. So I thought it would be fun.
At the time of this tape.
Yeah, at the time.
At the time of this taping, the Cardinals are going to win the World Series, College World Series.
Yes. Well, we hope they make it first.
What do they call it? Is it CWS? Is that the College World Series? Am I right on that?
You are right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting into it.
Yeah, and see, I don't follow college baseball that much until this time. So I think this will be a fair matchup since I have been paying attention to the conference tournaments and then the regionals, and now, like I said, at the time of this taping, the super regionals.
Oh, so you feel like knowledge-wise we're on a level playing ground?
Yeah, because what I want to do is I've got the teams here,
Mhm.
and we're going to pick who we think is going to win the super regionals and go into
nice.
the College World Series.
I do want to say, though, you know what an RBI is, and I don't.
True. But I also said that Louisville was probably not even going to make it out of the regionals.
I called it, though.
Yeah. But there was two big, Vandy, who was in the Louisville bracket. They were the overall #1 seed, and they got beat twice.
That was awesome.
Double elimination. Texas, the overall #2 seed, out of it.
Out of it.
So our first matchup is Miami at Louisville, which that worked out in our favor too because Miami winning gets Louisville a super regional at home. So I think that's the easiest one to start with. I think we're both gonna
What conference is Miami in?
ACC.
So we've played them before?
Mhm.
Do you know the history on that?
I don't. I told you I don't follow the college baseball until about this time. So
So Miami and Louisville is that, right?
yeah. So I'm picking Louisville.
I'm picking Louisville.
I figured that was the easy one.
Oh, so side thing right here. I say Louisville.
It's a 3-game series, so best of 3 over this. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm just talking about the way I pronounce it.
Oh, how'd you pronounce it?
Louisville. I always said Louisville.
Well, I've heard. We saw Jim Brewer, and he says it's he got in trouble because it's Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, like you got to have some, I guess, bass and with your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a whole skit when we saw him do stand up. It's Louisville.
Okay. Remember that song, though? I get this from straight up rap song. Louisville, chop and chill, get your thrill.
I do remember that song. Yeah,
Yeah, Louisville. So
and they're from Louisville, so
there you go.
yeah. Well, they have the whole thing too, where it's Louisville.
Yeah, Captain Jack bringing in it's King Louis.
Yeah.
This is historical.
So it's got to be Louisville.
Well, and what's the other one? This is way off the topic, but in Indiana we say Versailles.
Yeah, and it's Versailles.
Versailles.
Ooh,
Yeah, go Jeremy.
That's
So-
also from Jack. She watched the show.
Oh yeah, Versailles.
Mhm.
Their show.
Some French king, right? Philip?
It was.
Oh, what, like the Louis?
It was Louis XIV.
Yeah, which Louis is the Louisville?
Mm. Now, was he the same Louis that was king when, what was that? Yes.
So I don't know which
I stopped caring about her once I found out she didn't say the thing about the cake.
She didn't actually say that.
That's what you were, Jack was saying, right?
Oh, don't lose your head over it.
Oh, I
it
could.
was exactly.
Was there cake involved?
It's the big back question of the day.
Yeah.
Did we have cake?
I don't.
And if so, what kind?
I don't know.
Who was
All
the
right.
Bonnie Prince? Charles Stewart? Was that during King Louis? Which king? Which King Louis?
Yeah, it's which King Louis.
Yeah, it's like so. Just like with England, which Henry,
Right.
or which? Which Charles? I don't know. I don't know monarchs. Anyhow, back to baseball. Something we or Tim we know.
We
about.
are picking King Louis then.
Yeah, we're both on. We both were picking Marie
Yeah.
Antoinette.
That was my. That was the first one because I figured that would be the easiest.
Kentucky says Versailles too, right? They don't. Nobody down in Kentucky says Versailles.
They probably say Versailles.
Versailles. You
Versailles.
probably get kicked out of Kentucky if you say
Versailles.
Versailles.
Yeah,
Where are you from? Versailles. They might say Versailles though.
they probably do.
All right, what's that?
Florida State and Oregon State. The Battle of the States.
Ooh. Now, if this was basketball, I know who I'd pick right away. Or if it's football, I definitely know.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I know. I'm gonna go with Oregon.
That's who I went with.
Oregon State. We'll get one different.
That's right. We're gonna have to. And then the next one, with a shout out to the Schmitz. It's
Arizona.
Arizona at North Carolina.
I'm picking Arizona because I have beef with North Carolina.
What's your beef?
I just don't like them.
That's it.
Yep.
I respect that.
It's an ACC thing.
Yeah, I
But-
said the same thing about Kentucky. Like, there's no just because.
Yeah.
I'll take North Carolina.
Who was the hated dude from North Carolina?
Duke.
Duke is who I'm thinking of.
Christian Laettner.
Christian Laettner. It is North.
Mhm.
Duke's in North Carolina.
Yes. I think half the ACC's in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Wake Forest, NC State, Duke, North
State.
Carolina.
Wait, is Duke in North Carolina or South Carolina?
I'm pretty
It's in
sure.
North Carolina.
I'm pretty sure it's North.
Who cares?
All right. Then we got Coastal Carolina at Auburn.
Ooh. You know what? Just because I think it's going to be... Who'd you pick on? Arizona, North Carolina?
I took North Carolina. See, I have the opposite. Like, I
They're
like.
ACC teams.
Of course, I did go against Florida State though. Florida State's ACC also.
Yeah, they are. There's
So-
a lot of great baseball teams in the ACC, I guess.
Yeah, the SEC put a record number of teams in this year to the regionals.
Oh, yeah. They got
But,
beat.
yeah.
So Auburn squeaked through, though.
Mm-hmm.
Something about Coastal Carolina is calling to me, though. I'm picking them.
Gotcha. I went with Auburn.
Probably a smart bet.
Maybe. Then we have
Auburn's a money school.
now they'll have to forgive me if they ever watch this because I'm not 100% sure what school this is, but they were like kind of like the Cinderella. It's UTSA, which I think is the University of Texas San Antonio. Is my guess. That could be totally wrong, and they're playing UCLA. So on that one, I'm going UTSA.
I'll go UCLA.
Then we got the Murray State Racers and Duke.
Now I wish I could go back and pick North Carolina because the team I dislike more than North Carolina, Duke. For the same reason I don't like Dallas Cowboy fans. the Dallas Cowboys.
You almost said fans.
It's the fans. It's the same It's the same reason I like Ohio State. It's the fans. Also, Michigan State. I hate hearing about it. Like, I don't want to hear your mouth about it. Like, all the time. Duke.
I picked Duke because they have a guy with a sweet mustache. Plays third base for him.
Oh, that makes a difference.
That's the only reason. He also hit I want to say it was like a 400-something foot home run in the regionals. It went over this like.
Now explain the mustache to me. Is it handlebar?
It's got the curlicues
Nice.
on the end.
Hmm.
It's Ben Miller, I think, is his name.
I feel like
I don't know if you could get a picture up of him or not. I think
it's a baseball thing.
Yeah, but it's a sweet mustache, and he smoked this baseball against actually Georgia. It cleared the wall like about 20 feet, and there was a big wall like a green monster type thing
Yeah.
in center field, just like 20 foot over, dead center.
Yeah, I feel like a handlebar mustache or
Now, yeah, he's got the little.
the twist. That's
Yep.
a baseball thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back,
Yeah.
pinstripe suits,
Old curly.
curly mustache. Yeah, I feel like that's authentic. I'll pick Murray State though. Not just to be different, maybe.
Just to be different.
And it's tough for me to pick Duke still. Again, I have no reason for that though because I'm not a college baseball buff. Like I'm
Yeah.
just not getting into
But
it. So.
there's beef there with Louisville, Louisville.
Yeah. Louisville. Yep.
So while we're waiting for, I may have butchered his name too. So once again, sorry, but I think it's something Miller. It's like Ben or
She's looking.
I follow him on the Instagram. He's the Duke third baseman. I do know that. But we have West Virginia and LSU.
West Virginia is. Are they in Atlantic?
West Virginia is,
AAC?
there he is. That's not a good picture of the mustache, though. You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
It's very thin.
I mean, he looks like a baseball player from the 20s.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
When did Major League Baseball start?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. When was Jackie Robinson?
I mean, that had to have been, I would guess, around the 60s, maybe? Because they're, segregation thing, so
Yeah.
it had to have been.
Oh, she got a good picture.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know much about baseball timeline and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I don't really know much about the history. I know I love the era I grew up in, which was the steroid era.
That was.
It was the best time.
Yeah. Sosa.
Click on that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, my
yeah.
gosh.
Is it Ben? Did I get his name right? All right, cool.
Oh, my gosh. My God.
Yeah. If the old Louisville Cardinals don't make it, I will be rooting for this guy
For this
right
guy
here.
right here.
Yeah.
Just for that mustache. The
He's
audacity.
a big dude, too. 225. That's why he could hit them baseballs.
I'm picking LSU.
I'm picking West Virginia for Pat McAfee.
Yep. Okay.
So, and then the last one, we have Tennessee versus Arkansas. So this is a good SEC matchup.
I'm going to pick this team based on the most arbitrary reason ever. I'm picking Tennessee because I like Tennessee as a state going there.
That is
And
true.
I've only been in Arkansas one time, and I hated it. I did not like even driving through Arkansas. It was a bad experience for me. So, has nothing to do with baseball or sports. Just because I like Tennessee as a state better than the short period of time I was in Arkansas.
Gotcha. I'll take Arkansas. They were supposed to be good.
Yeah.
So,
Razorbacks.
yep, the old Razorbacks. So, we'll have to think of something on our next podcast for the loser.
Oh, yeah.
Since got these.
We got these now.
Oh wait, we gotta.
Oh, you got to
I
sign
don't
it.
want you cheating.
I think I know my handwriting.
Nah, look at that beautiful handwriting.
I mean, neither one of them's great.
No. I still write like I'm in first, second grade.
So what's an RBI?
Run, batted in.
Oh, run, batted in.
Mm-hmm. So if you're up to bat and I'm on third, you hit the ball, get a single or a double, and I score, you have an RBI.
Wait, if I'm up to bat.
Yes.
Okay.
If you have to bat other runners in,
Right.
that's how you get an RBI.
You're on third. I hit a good hit. You
Mhm.
get in. I get RBI.
Yep.
Nice. Now I understand that.
Now you're a professional.
I know everything there is to know about baseball.
And then, I marked that out and I shouldn't have. This is the bonus question. If we somehow tie,
How we would, but maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other's 8 games. We could tie.
so, and this will be drawn out if it does, but I figured we got to put something on Indy, the Pacers, and is it the Thunder?
Mhm.
I know we'd probably both go Pacers. How many games? You pick the Pacers. How many games do you think it's going to take them?
I think it's a take him. I'll say 4.
Or I'll go 6. And that'll be our tiebreaker. Pacers in 6.
Oh, you mean total games?
Well, yeah, it's a 7-game series.
Yeah. So
You think they're going to sweep?
I didn't mean they were going to sweep, but yeah.
How long does the series?
You're right. It's 7. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with it. They're going to sweep them.
Sweep.
Yep.
I heard they had no chance. So, we'll see.
They almost swept the Knicks.
Yep. Not everybody. The one thing I saw was the Pacers aren't going to be able to handle the Thunder's defense.
Well, the experience there.
Yeah, I think this, once again, we're kind of caught in that limbo of we're next to Louisville.
Yeah.
But we live in Indiana. So, yeah. I don't know if the Pacers have ever made the NBA Finals. Have they? Reggie Miller?
I think 2000. In the year 2000, they made the finals. They didn't win. We've never won.
Yeah.
But we went to the finals. I think it was 2000. Was it 2000 or 2001? I didn't tell you.
2000.
Yeah.
And they lost?
Yeah. Yeah. That was the year we had the battle in the stands. The battle with the fans.
Oh, Ron Artest?
Yeah, Ron Artest. Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
What's
I like
his name now? It's not Meta World Peace anymore. He gave up on the World Peace, I think. Might be just Meta.
I think you're right, yeah. I call him Metaverse.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, he
I've got no
he put the beat down on some fans.
I've got no problem with that.
I think we had the record as a team for the biggest draw in NBA history.
Yeah, that was when the stands, it was fans and players and everything.
It was like everybody. Yeah. Well, good. Awesome. That's interesting. Man, I'm a little tired today, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you, I was going to talk about this last time, but I'll talk about it real quick here now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll
I'll allow it.
Brandy and I have, sometimes we practice, it's a bad habit, but it's called revenge, sleep, procrastination. Did we talk about this? I think we were.
No, I'm pretty sure I'd remember.
Revenge, sleep, procrastination. That means you feel like you didn't get enough time to yourself in a day, so you put off sleep that night so you can have your personal time. And so, like, you should be in bed at 10, but
Yeah.
I didn't get enough time for me today. So you put off sleep. I'm going to watch a show. I'm going to spend some time. I didn't get enough out of this day. So it's revenge, sleep, procrastination. The problem is it compounds. It's like compounded interest. So if you do this today, you're likely not going to make up that sleep tomorrow.
Yeah.
And for Brandy, it's especially tough because, especially tough because a lot of times she's like you. She has to get up at like 4:30 in the morning. So if we practice revenge sleep procrastination, then the next morning she's got to get up at 4:30 in the morning. I don't have to get up till later. She has to. It's compounded on her. So
Yeah.
then the next day she's tired all day long, and then she gets home. She wants to take a nap. Maybe she does get a nap. Maybe she doesn't. But then that night she wants to stay up.
Yeah.
See, it kind of just builds on itself.
I didn't know what you were talking about at first, and I think I do this quite consistently.
Yeah.
I play that game where I'm blessed, though, too. Like, I probably don't put in as many hours as Brandy either. I don't know.
She puts in some hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm pretty blessed with, I have to get up at 4:30, but I'm off at 1:30. So usually I'm home by 2, so there's usually a good hour it's just me and Jack and no kids or anything like that, and I can.
Yeah. But for you, it is every day. For her, she only does it 3 days a week, 2 days a week, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the other day, she goes in at a different time, which to me would be harder.
Yeah, no, I
what I mean?
despise
But
that.
tomorrow I get to stay until 10. Well, that'd be harder for me. But I don't know. You're kind of like her. She can steal kids all day. You know, it's kind of the same business. But you know, you get in that wherever you're at, it's got its own stresses.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this though, for women, a nap is way more important than for men. Did you know this?
I disagree, but no, I didn't know this.
There's studies been done that even for heart health, a nap, women who nap at least like half hour a day, it decreases their chance of heart issues, like by a significant amount. A nap every day, and men who make sure that their wives, this might be a little explicit for our podcast, but men who allow their wives to get a nap in have more intercourse than men who don't.
Well,
Yeah, if you want to increase your chances of marital bliss, make sure your wife gets a good nap in. That's just study. So, but it does increase for women, especially, to get a nap in. It could be a daily thing, cat nap, whatever. And it betters their mood, increases their health, less risk of heart issues, and helps in intimacy. So there's that side note. But revenge sleep procrastination plays into that also, because where men, if you get 6 hours of sleep, it's good. You need to at least get that. 8 hours is better, but for women, it's almost crucial that you get 8 hours. I don't know what the difference is.
yeah.
In men and women where 8 hours is crucial. But I do think that it has to play with it too. Maybe a deeper mentality that women have. Men tend not to think too deep about things unless it's necessary, where women they tend to deep think about everything. And then in feelings is also, they'll feel certain feelings more acutely than men. So maybe it just requires, I feel, if I've got to go through a lot of day of emotional or deep thinking, I'm wore out by the end. I wonder if that's just a normal for.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you have a harder time sleeping than I do, obviously, and that's probably why. Well, we've talked about that before, where if something's going on with the kids or anything like that, family stuff or whatever, the case may be, she'll be thinking about it, and the world could be burning down, and I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And probably nap.
Well, see, Brandy's the opposite, though. Brandy will fall asleep right now. Now, unless she's not. It's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty consistent, where it takes me a minute to fall asleep, and then I'm asleep. Sometimes I'll wake up at night, and if I do wake up, sometimes my body will trick me into thinking it's just time to get up. You know what I mean? Like, it's 3 in the morning, it's time to wake up. I'm like, no, I'm going back to sleep. There's those days. And then everybody has an occasional.
Yeah. It's, for me, that's like the worst thing in the world, because 99.9% of the time, I can sleep anywhere. I don't usually have any problems going to sleep, but when it does happen, I like panic almost where I'm like,
Right. Well, you can be a moody creature if you don't get enough sleep, too.
yeah.
Yeah. Just, no, I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying, historically in our relationship, it's important that Jeremy gets this nap.
Yeah, there's a certain amount, like I said, I get up at 4:30. I have to be at work at 5:30, and there's usually a half hour spot there where I don't want to deal with anything, anybody.
Right. Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah. Definitely different now than what it was when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
But napping's always been pretty important to you.
Yeah. Well, I think I do a little better about trying to be consistent nowadays. Like when I was younger, I would play this game. I would play the game of like, I'm staying up, I'm staying up, I'm staying up, crash.
Crash, yeah.
Like there was usually one day throughout the week where I'd be like, I'd come home and I'd be like, I'm just gonna sleep, and then the next day I'd be up till 11, 12.
Well, early in our friendship, all-nighters were normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'd just be up all night. That was normal for us. Couldn't imagine now. Could not imagine.
Yeah.
Well, we have responsibilities and kids and jobs. We're old. But even for men, though, there is, I'm trying to remember exactly what that study said. There was a study about even a 10-minute nap. A 10-minute nap, and it had something to do with cognitive function and memory loss. That it's beneficial to have a 10-minute nap. And it's talking like daily. I'm trying to remember what that study. I wish I had studied this. I didn't even plan on talking about this, but it had to do with cognitive retention, like, and to fight off even Alzheimer's. Oh, it was related to that. So the importance of sleep is a big deal. And I would say I'm about a 6-hour a night guy. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
consistent about that.
I try to get in bed around between 10 and 10:30, and then, like I said, usually 4:30 I'm up.
Yeah, I'd be struggling too. Now, Brandy, like, she usually is asleep. Like, if we're watching TV before we go to bed, she's probably asleep before the show's over. But it's like that transition from the couch to the TV. Somehow it wakes me up. Like, I could be falling asleep on the couch, go to the bed, I'm wide awake.
Yeah, see, not me.
Not you.
I think I'm Brandy, I guess, in
You and
our
Brandy.
relationship. Yeah.
You and Brandy sleep wherever, whenever.
Yeah, like I said, it puts me in a panic when I can't. So like especially on like Sundays, because I'll make the mistake on Sundays of I'll come home and I'll sleep for like 2-3 hours, and then I'm like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like staring at the ceiling, like, and I don't know what to do because I'm like, I gotta get up at 4.
Now, if I'm alone, I don't do this revenge sleep procrastination. If it's just me, I don't care if it's been me not having my way all day long. I'm just going to go to bed. But something about me and Brandy being together, it's like we didn't spend enough time together today. So we're trying to make up. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But if it's just me, I'll go to sleep. But there's something about wanting to have a little bit of, even with the kids around. We love our kids and we want to spend time with them, but if we don't have alone time together, or even half hour in the evenings, we're going to fall asleep to get that.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how much we feel like we needed each other that day, too. Like, if it's been a sucky day or whatever. That increases the likelihood we're going to postpone sleep tonight and spend time together. But that was kind of a derailed thing, but I thought it was interesting anyhow. And I wondered.
No, I think that's cool because, like I said, I think I do that quite often.
I wondered if y'all had
Yeah.
experienced that. And I think it's probably normal for everybody to do. But I didn't know it had a name.
Having older kids too now makes it a little easier because, like I said, they're not really itching to hang out after dinner,
Right.
Too much. So
Yeah.
Nate will every once in a while, but it's usually like, care if I go to my room early or.
Yeah, I heard another thing about that. Like, I used to freak out when you sit down with your kids at the dinner table and how'd your day go? Fine. What happened at school? Nothing.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything out of them. And you
Okay.
kind of like, I'm not connecting with my kids. You kind of freak out about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's really normal. They say that for teenagers, they want their own autonomy. So they're trying to fight for that space. Now, when they naturally come to you, and it's usually at the worst time, 11 o'clock at night, they're going to start talking about everything. Then you have to, as a parent, realize, like, oh, now's the moment. I'm gonna take advantage of it, even when it's at the
Yeah.
worst, worst possible time.
No, I used to drive me nuts. Who you going? Who you talking to? A friend.
The shortest answer.
Yeah.
And then when you're not ready for it, they're gonna info dump on you like everything.
Yeah, I tease Noah all the time because it always seems like this guy's got he must have 250 friends or something, because it's always a different, unless he's just throwing me off and messing with me,
Yeah,
which is
random
possible
name.
too. Yeah, it's always a random name. Like, here, if I go hang out with Mike, who's Mike?
Yeah.
Friend. And then next week, care if Dylan comes over, who's Dylan? Friend. Could I go hang out with Todd? So finally I told Jack, I was like, it's a different name every time.
Every
So I don't know
single
if
time.
I don't know if he's messing with me or if
Just picking out random.
yeah,
names.
that would be something he would do to me. So just to drive me nuts.
It's like, what's it matter?
Yeah.
All right, so I have a conspiracy for you.
Oh, good. I have one too.
Nice.
It better not be the same one.
It's not. I guarantee it's not. We'll put money on it right now. It's not. I'm trying to think how much you got in your pocket.
I have nothing in my pocket.
I'll bet you pocket lint.
I don't even know if I have that. Centos does a lovely job with these, so I have this.
This may be the oldest conspiracy theory I've ever heard.
Oh, well, then it's not the same.
So have you heard things like, this isn't old, but I'll get there. Tupac's still alive.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I follow a guy, the world's fittest flat earther.
Mhm. Flurf?
Yeah, he it's an Instagram guy, and that's all. Besides talking about flat Earth and stuff, he talks about they're not dead; they're this person.
Yeah. Or he's in the Bahamas, right? Bahamas? Somewhere did, or almost did, but,
Don't do that.
Tupac is down in
Yeah, I think you're right. It's
somewhere down there. Bahamas, Caribbean, something.
mm-hmm.
But also Elvis.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's not dead. Yeah. Elvis is Bob something. He's living down in Tennessee. Can't remember that guy's name.
Like Elvis didn't go far then.
No, he didn't go far.
He's
Stayed
like, I was-
close to home.
I'll just go down the road.
Which makes sense. It's Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and all of it, also you go back to Hitler. Remember people
Yep.
said Hitler did faked his own death.
At the bunker.
Yeah, he's still alive. Moved to Argentina with all the other Nazis.
Maybe.
Supposedly, not saying that's where they all went. That's where they're supposed to went. Unless they went and worked for NASA. Yeah. Operation Paperclip or whatever that was. So, with all these other stories of fake deaths, Emperor Nero
I have not heard.
faked his own death. Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's do it. I have not heard this one, so I'm excited.
It's called Nero Redivivus. Nero Redivivus, which is Nero back to life, or Nero reborn.
Okay.
So this was a conspiracy immediately after his death. This didn't come about later. This was immediately after his death. Nero Redivivus. And so they say that the death of Nero was faked by Nero. And there's some cause to believe that because he knew it was coming. He knew there was a plot to overthrow him. He knew there was unrest. He kind of knew it was coming. He had kind of already planned to escape to Parthia and maybe hide out there. So he had already talked about this with other people. And so he had a secretary that was real close to him. His name was Epaphroditus. And so the story goes that when this faction came to overthrow Nero, that when they came to his chambers, he had already either tried to kill himself or Epaphroditus had tried to kill him because he was bleeding out. And so they tried to stop the bleeding, didn't do it. But the story has always been that Nero killed himself.
Yeah.
Committed suicide. He knew it was coming. And so, a few things about Nero. One, he wasn't very popular. Maybe he killed his own mom, but her name was Agrippina, but she was also, people think, she probably killed Claudius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
so that Nero could take the throne. Not a great person anyhow.
Yeah.
So they think he committed matricide, killed his own mother. Not sure about this. Killed many other people, likely. And the old story goes that when Rome was burning, that he played the fiddle. Well, he didn't actually play a fiddle, though. He played a lyre,
Oh, okay.
like a guitar almost.
See, I heard he blamed it on the Christians.
That's the other thing. He also blamed the burning of Rome on Christians. So some people during the time thought that Nero himself set the fires.
Yeah.
And then he was what we know historically is that there is record of him singing during the fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we do have record of that. Now, whether he played the lyre or the fiddle, we don't know that. But he was a musician and a singer. That comes in the story later. That's important. So he supposedly sang or played a guitar while Rome burned. They think he might have set the fires, but then right after the fires, he was opened up some of his palaces to let some homeless people in. So he was trying to make amends or whatever. And then, Rome was declining, all this other stuff. He blamed the fire on Christians, really hard on Christians, and most Christians considered him to be a type of Antichrist.
Yeah.
If not the Antichrist himself. So, here's the story. He blamed Christians for the fire. Then he commits suicide. After this, a couple other emperors take control of Rome. Rome's in decline. And so there is this legend that comes from a writing called the Syllabus Oracles. Yeah. Sibylline Oracles. And so these Sibylline Oracles, they were written by these Greek people, but they were also added to and changed and used by Jews in the first century and Christians. Right? And so in these Sibylline Oracles is this legend that Nero will come back from the dead, or that he had faked his death. So one of the two. Either he's coming back from the dead or he faked his death. Really that he faked his death.
Yeah.
And it was added to these legends. And he was going to come back from Parthia, where he was amassing an army, and he was going to destroy Rome. That was the way the legend went. And so, this is where it gets really interesting. So, during Emperor Vitellius, which is right after Nero, Caesar, Emperor Vitellius, in 69, there was a faction, there was someone claiming to be Nero.
Of course, yeah.
And it was an imposter going to overtake Rome. That was squashed right away, not a big deal. Then, during Titus, who sacked Jerusalem in 70 AD, Titus was emperor, another imposter came, saying that he was Nero. Squashed, nothing happened. The third one was during Domitian. Domitian was like the hardest of the Caesar's emperors on Christianity. It was some of the worst persecution for the church. Maybe Diocletian was worse. But under Domitian, an imposter rose up who said he was Nero, or they claimed it was Nero.
Yeah.
And he actually came with support from the Parthians. And there was almost war because of this. Now, that happened in 81 to 96, right at the time John was writing, we think John was writing the book of Revelation, the Revelation of Jesus Christ. Or, in the Latin, they would say the Apocalypse of Jesus
Gotcha,
Christ.
yeah.
So he was writing that right at the time of this imposter saying he was Nero rising up. Each one of those imposters, from Vitellius, Titus, and Domitian, all three of them were musicians and singers, and they came from Parthia. That's what they said. And so you see this kind of playing out.
Yeah.
And so here's where it gets interesting. So those Sibylline oracles, where they said that, it comes from this legend or whatever, Christians in the early church, they have record of them quoting from those Sibylline oracles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so automatically it gave credence in the church, or people in the church, that they were not just legends, they were factual.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So it goes back to the same thing where people talk about the Book of Enoch. Well, Jesus quoted from it, so that gives it credence.
Yeah.
Well, you can quote something from any book, and that thing you quote be true. It doesn't make the whole book true. You know what I mean? A book can say that the sky is blue, and the rest of the book be complete fiction. But if someone substantial quotes from that book, does it validate all the rest of the argument? You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what was happening with these Sibylline oracles. There's Augustine. That was way later, like in 300. Augustine was quoting the Sibylline oracles. Polycarp had, Irenaeus had, Clement of Alexandria had, Justin Martyr had quoted from it. So
Okay.
they feel like these early Christians were quoting from the source. It must be a Christian source.
Yeah. It's got to be legit.
It's got to be legit.
Yeah.
And so, but that doesn't make it. To me, that doesn't mean that they believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty interesting. I didn't know what you thought about.
I wonder what his why would he need to come back and destroy Rome? What was his? Yeah.
I think vengeance. It was like one of those, like the Mummy.
Gotcha.
You
Yeah.
killed me, so I'm going to come back, and anybody who disturbs my slumber will, I don't know, some kind of vengeance thing, or Nero was
He was a little crazy, right?
crazy. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, how many of those guys were though?
Yeah.
Megalomania is a real thing, and we can get glimpses of that in our culture now. We see these super leaders
mm-hmm.
who are just so surrounded by yes men and people telling them that they're the greatest thing. You kind of get this reaction.
Yeah, you start believing the hype, right?
So I got a couple scriptures.
Uh-oh.
So the book of Revelation.
Is Nero coming back?
Well, this is the question. So, a lot of people say that in the book of Revelation, of course, this was written to a church in persecution. The book of Revelation was written to encourage a church that was being persecuted
Mm-hmm.
and suffering many things. And so they say that Nero, or at least the Antichrist, pictured in the book of Revelation, is a type of, the Nero is a type of Antichrist, if not what they were saying is the Antichrist. So here's what it says. In Revelation 13, verse 3, that the beast would come, and he had suffered a deadly wound, or a wound that led to death. But that the wound was healed, and the world would wonder about it. And so what they're saying is that John knew about this, the oracles of Sibylline,
Mm-hmm.
or this legend at least. And so what John was doing was using that to warn the church of this type of Antichrist, this Nero that would return. If not Nero himself, then this system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so what he's saying is that he's using that as a type of it. So, and some people say that this is the early church knew about this conspiracy with Nero, and they believed it. Not just a type or not a warning, but it was, they actually believed that Nero would return, that this Antichrist would come back, and that this was fulfilled through Titus or another type of Antichrist, or even during the return of that guy during Domitian's reign.
Gotcha.
So the second scripture is in Revelation 17, that the beast would astonish the world, that he once was, now is not, but will be again. He once was, now is not, yet will be, is the beast in Revelation 17, verses 8 through 11. And so they're saying this beast is Nero.
Yeah.
Or at least a type of Nero, this Antichrist system that's going to come back. And it has a wound. It was, is not now, but will be again. He's going to come back from the dead.
So that's all. Yeah, it's almost kind of like the Mummy then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I say, Antichrist, that the devil a lot of times is accused of taking something that was attributed to Christ and then perverting it or twisting it to his
Yeah.
own end. So if Christ was crucified, buried, and rose again, that the Antichrist is making this kind of sign also. Like Moses and the serpent with Janus and Jambres.
Yep.
They cast their rods on the ground, and Moses' uh, serpent ate theirs up.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same kind of idea. And so, what do you think about it?
I don't know. You think we'd know if it's Nero? If it did happen like that?
Well, and here's the other part of that. They said, well, if you read in the book of Revelation, in chapter 13, verse 18, it says, let one with wisdom calculate the number of the beast's name. It's the number of a man, and its number is 666. Now, in Hebrew gematria, that is, I didn't write this down, but it's like in our, I'm trying to remember here, 'cause they don't have vowels really. It was like Nron, Neron,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was QSRN or something like that. So it's like Nero Caesar or something like that in the Hebrew gematria, which adds up to 666.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now in the Latin, when you read the Latin version of the Book of Revelation, it says 616, which is NRO QSR, Nero Caesar. And so what they say is they think that when John wrote this, he's writing it in code to a church that's being persecuted,
Mm-hmm.
that you wouldn't just put it openly out there. You wouldn't rebel against the Caesar or the office or the chair. And so that's what they think. 666, this is Caesar. It's Nero. Do I think that? I think it's definitely a type.
Yeah.
You know, this type of thing. But it's like, okay, one of those, you know, talk about conspiracy theories, these go way back. It's not
Yeah.
a new thing. Yeah. These go way back. So the original conspiracy.
Well, I mean, Jesus himself raising from the dead can almost be a conspiracy theory in itself with people.
People, yeah, they think it. The problem with that is so much evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see that with conspiracies now. He's like, oh, that was a conspiracy. Now we see there's just real truth there. I think it comes back to that. We've talked about this on this podcast before. The hunger for real truth that we can nail down to.
Yeah.
And so that's what Pontius Pilate was saying. The same thing Pontius Pilate said to Jesus, we can claim now. What is truth? And that's what I think people want more than anything else, to know the truth. And so most conspiracies, at the root of the conspiracy is they want to know the truth.
Yeah.
And that they're not being lied to. And so flat earth, whether Tupac is dead or not, yeah, we just want to know the truth, man. Pac,
Yeah.
are you out there? So, Nero's dead now.
For now.
Yeah, we know that Nero's dead. For real.
Yeah. But no, I've watched a lot of that stuff, especially the Michael Jackson one. It catches a lot of the video comes on my feed quite a bit where the ambulance backs up into the hospital and he just walks out of the back.
Oh, you see him walking out?
Yep. Well, supposedly. It's not a real clear, like, oh, that's Michael Jackson, but it kind of looks like.
Well, with AI, it's getting to be tough to tell.
Yeah.
You're going to not be able to watch a video and
Yeah, you
just
can
say,
be-
well, I saw it on the video.
Yeah, you can be deceived real quick. So you could bring Nero back.
As it's getting better and better, you know. I've seen some bad AI stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're talking about when they record some movie scenes, there's not even actors in them.
It's all AI.
The voice, what you see, everything, AI. Like, there's not even voiceover actors behind it. Yeah, a computer generates.
That kind of scares me.
Yeah.
I watched Terminator 2 Judgment Day too many times for
Yeah.
us to be messing around with this kind of stuff.
Oh, Elon said it's the AI God is what he calls it. Though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
AI God.
for me, it's scary.
Well, and who knows what's true out there?
Yeah.
You know, what we see is, you know, we don't find out till later whether. My dad always said, and I know he didn't come up with the quote, but believe none of what you hear and only half what you see. Except for on ADK, you can believe everything.
That's right.
Fact, Jack.
Yeah, in case you didn't know.
In case you didn't know. Now you do. Now you know.
Yeah, that was really far away from my conspiracy theory, so I'm glad we didn't bet.
I knew it wasn't close. What do you got?
I have, and you may have, mine's more new, or at least I just discovered it. So I'll hit you with a new one instead of an old one. But you a Mountain Dew guy?
I'm not really a big Mountain Dew guy, no.
Have you heard the Mountain Dew conspiracy theory?
What, that it was moonshine?
No.
Oh.
That when they release a flavor, it is followed up by some sort of tragedy.
What?
Yep. So this has been going. This has been going nuts on my. I don't remember who. It was some podcast on Instagram. I was watching little clips of different people, and I've seen this like 2 or 3 times from 2 or 3 different podcasts that I listen to. But Code Red, right?
Yeah.
And some people say, and I'd have to go back and do a little more research. I just did a quick the release and then what happened.
I don't know much about the other flavors though. But
I didn't really either, but there's 4 flavors that are in question here. So Code Red, and one video I watched that said 90 days later, or it came out in 2001. 90 days later, 9/11. And of course they're saying something with the Code Red, But Pitch Black, which has been discontinued, but when it came out, there was a IT blackout. I think that happened last year.
yeah, that was recently.
Yeah. So, and like I said, one video I watched said these happened almost like 90 days after the release.
Each one.
Each one, yeah. So the Maui burst,
Oh,
Maui wildfires.
Yeah.
This one is the fun one. Well, it's not fun one, but this one was I didn't get it at first, but the Star Spangled Splash.
Star Spangled Flag.
So who wrote the Star Spangled Banner?
Francis Scott Key.
What bridge collapsed and
Oh. That's a stretch, but I get it.
yeah.
So that was 90 days later?
Well, that's what, like I said, some people are just saying they release a flavor, something bad happens. And one guy said, like I said, I'd have to do more research on it, so forgive me. But supposedly 90 days or around 90 days after all these flavors were released, this stuff happened.
Wow. I'm embarrassed I didn't know the Francis Scott Key thing. Thanks to Jack, our resident historian.
But isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. So if you watch The Simpsons and drink Mountain Dew,
Yeah.
you know what's going on.
And that's exactly the first thing I thought of was like, is Mountain Dew the new Simpson thing?
What about Baja Blast?
Well, this is the last one. Summer of 2025, Taco Bell's releasing, or Mountain Dew's releasing at Taco Bell, Baja Midnight.
Oh. This one's been cooking.
Yeah, so now everybody's like, well, what does that mean?
The Baja, that
Baja?
California? Baja, California?
I think so. We'd have to look that up, but
I think Baja is Baja, California. But I think there's a Baja, California and Mexico.
I know it's my favorite.
Oh, Baja
I like
Blast,
the
your
Baja
favorite?
Blast.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big Mountain Dew guy, but
Yeah, and I'm not usually either. I will try the flavors just because they get so crazy with, just the.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll try that.
I feel
But,
like Baja, or not Baja Blast, but I feel like Mountain Dew is kind of like Monster Energy drink. If you like one, you probably like the other two.
Yeah, they don't really. For me, they don't venture too far. Like they have different flavors, obviously, but
And you probably like Camaros.
Yeah. You got the mullet. You got it.
Baja, California, is a Mexican state.
Oh, so it's not even. I was half
near,
right
yeah.
on both. Not. I was half right and half wrong.
So and this screams almost that like the last Pope thing we did.
Yeah, I'm a half glass full guy though, so I'm gonna say I'm half right on that.
I'll go with that.
So what has anything ever happened in Baja, California? Especially
Not yet.
We need to find out with Baja Blast first, because Baja Blast to me is the most popular other flavor, right?
Oh yeah, anytime for me, that's the one. Like I said, anytime I go to Taco Bell, I get a Baja Blast.
So what year did Baja Blast come out?
See if we can find something.
Well, let's guess. What year do you
Mm,
think it was?
I'm gonna say 2002.
I was gonna say 5.
Okay.
2004.
Oh,
Is it like Price is Right? You were under.
I'll give you that. No, you
I
were
was
pretty.
gonna say, I went
yeah.
over.
Yeah. That'd
So-
be cheap of me to.
Did anything happen 90 days after that? Type it in there. 90 days after Baja Blast.
Yeah.
Because this one might have been cooking. If Baja Twilight Midnight.
Midnight, yeah. So like, if Pitch Black's a blackout, Code Red was the 9/11, and then the Maui burst was, almost like a burst of flames, and then the Star Spangled Splash, which
Bridge collapse,
splash,
yeah.
So I mean,
Well, Baja Blast.
yeah. Well, this one's it's just midnight, so it's Baja Midnight. So, what dangerous things?
Blackout.
They already did that with the pitch. You think they do too?
Oh, maybe. No.
Or maybe a
EMP.
yeah. That's yeah, maybe.
When's that coming this year?
Summer of 2020. It's almost
upon us,
here.
yeah.
It's almost
That
here.
and the Pope.
Yep.
Watch. We got deep research going on here.
Yeah.
That'd be the thing. But I mean, 4 out of 5. You know,
There was a typhoon in Japan and 2 car bombs, explosions in Baghdad.
So bombs in Baghdad, and would you say Japan had what?
Typhoon.
A typhoon.
I said
Baja
bomb.
Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember was there a song called Bombs Over Baghdad?
So
I think it was on my Christian punk list. Bombs
Oh,
Over
man.
Baghdad.
that's
Oh,
all.
I was
It ain't John Denver.
who did Hey Off.
Outcast.
Outlast?
I think it was
Outcast.
Outcast.
Huh. Well, that's crazy.
Well, we'll be praying for Baja at midnight.
Yeah.
I'll try it still.
Oh yeah, I will too. But
Did they make a Baja Blast Zero?
yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
You know that?
That'd be right up your alley. Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had Baja Blast.
Really.
Yeah. If I do, I can't remember it.
What's your go-to at Taco Bell? Oh man, you are no fun then.
Probably just
You don't
like-
have.
Now I haven't been to Taco Bell in 2 years.
Yeah, but you've ate there before. You never had like this. Might expose me as a big back again, but I have certain drinks that I get from certain restaurants or fast food especially.
Fast food.
Yeah, like you don't do that.
Can't think of any. I
Like-
mean, if you go to White Castle, you get a
Big
Big
Red.
Red. Yeah.
And if you go to Culver's, you get root beer.
Oh,
They
yeah,
have their own
yeah,
root beer.
Culver's- Yeah, root beer.
I go to Taco Bell, I get Baja Blast. Or I go to McDonald's, Sprite.
McDonald's Sprite's the best.
It's crispy. Yep. It gives you the old hiccups when it hits.
No, I don't do that. I mean, I guess it's been years since I had a White Castle. I don't-
Yeah. There could be an argument for the sweet tea in McDonald's too, I guess. I'm not a big sweet tea guy from McDonald's, but I do like the
I'm
Sprite.
not a sweet tea person at all. So.
But yeah. And usually I have like certain things I eat there. Like I know what I'm going to get.
I think if you go to McAllister's, you get sweet tea. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything
Exposing
like
my fatness on the occasion.
that. I don't know if that's a big back thing or not, but
So good.
I didn't know that either.
So yeah,
Ah,
I say Chick-fil-A. I think I do the sweet tea at Chick-fil-A. So,
Yeah.
oh, Sonic. You always get the cherry limeade. Or we do.
I'm new to all this. I had no idea. I've never had a fast food culture though. Even growing up, like
Yeah.
part of our thing.
Go to Wendy's.
I do get the orange Coke at Wendy's.
You do have a thing.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And usually I get the same thing. Like, I used to get so angry at the family at the drive-thru and stuff because like I usually like if I go to Culver's, I'm getting the double deluxe with cheese curds. You know, if I go to McDonald's, I'm getting double cheeseburgers. You know, if I go to Arby's, I'm getting either the chicken or the beef and cheddar.
See, back when I was going to Arby's, I want a beef and cheddar, but I want the
jalapeno poppers.
poppers. Yeah.
Yeah.
With that Bronco berry sauce.
Yep. The Bronco.
See, I'm probably more of a sauce guy than a drink guy. Like I want that. I had a Chick-fil-A. I wanted that spicy sauce that comes with
the Polynesian.
Polynesian sauce.
Yeah. I get the plain Jane Chick-fil-A sauce there. That's my go-to every time.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yep. Just their normal. I don't know what. Like I said, I don't know what kind of sauce it is really.
I don't know. I've made it at home.
Well, don't reveal. Let's not reveal their secret on.
My favorite sauce like that, not sauce or dip, is the Chewy's jalapeno, creamy jalapeno thing.
Oh,
You ever had that?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, that's good. Or if you go to the sushi place and you get the hibachi grill, they have that salad with the
Oh yeah.
ginger sauce. Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, I guess I got those things. But that's just awesome. Particularly right now, if I eat out anywhere, it's usually a Mexican restaurant. You know, I'm an El Nepal guy.
Yeah, I know you don't partake in the fast food anymore.
Puerto Vallarta,
But I didn't know maybe back in the day you had like a certain
a go-to beverage.
yeah.
I mean, like that one. Mike has my talking makeup.
I have to let all our fans know, like sound off on that and make sure I'm not weird.
Well, you're an Epicurean. Like you're a food.
What did you just call me?
I use that right. Epicurean, is that the correct term?
I don't even know what it means.
Foodie. You got good taste.
I do like food.
Look that up. Make sure I'm using that word right. It probably means something different.
Yeah.
That's equestrian.
Yeah. You've insulted my pride.
That's okay. I'm using words I don't even know the definition.
You're using words and I'm like, I don't know if I should be offended or not.
Person who is devoted to pleasure and fine, sensuous enjoyment, especially of food and drink.
Oh yeah, that's me.
You're an Epicurean, I think.
I'm more impressed that you didn't even ask how to spell that. Like I don't even know what it means, and then she's like,
Well, we know she's smarter than us. So.
yeah.
It's funny that we have the show and she's the intelligent one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna leave on high note, dude. I got something right.
Heck yeah. I'm down with that. Plus, it makes me sound fancy. So.
I always thought you were.
Oh yeah.
All right, man.
All right. Episode 7 out.